Okay, this is just a quick segment on a form of Buddhism that was introduced to me through a YouTube friend who became a Facebook friend, and not a strong friendship of any kind, but an interesting friend to have from the perspective of giving me a different perspective on things. This is from Nichiren Buddhism, and just for fun, I went through a chant with Shannon and her husband on what it's like to chant over a YouTube chat. It was a very interesting experience. I'm not saying it's converted me to Buddhism at all, but it's hey, let's try to chant and see what it feels like. Kind of like a newsman participating in a story, kind of the way I used to like to do stories once in a while. So the chant in Nichiren Buddhism would be Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. And it said that this chant can actually increase awareness, decrease cravings, like food cravings would be good for me, right? Decrease those. Myoho, so they all have the different meanings. Namu meaning direction and enlightenment. Or it can mean devotion too. At any given moment, you're directing your life in a certain way. For example, at work, your mind may be consumed by the details of your job. At that moment, your life is directed toward your work. You're thinking about work and taking action on those thoughts. As we chant Namu Myo Renge Kyo, we're focusing our minds on the Buddha nature within all life. At the same time, we're dedicating ourselves to that Buddha nature, to each and every being on the planet, and to their enlightenment. In a sense, we're making a determination or a vow for the enlightenment of all beings. The more powerful you make this determination, the more it will affect your life. Also, the more it affects your life, the more it will affect the lives of others as well. So this is this chain of events that Shannon talks about. As we change ourselves in this way, we change our destiny as well as the destiny of other beings affected by us. So Namu means direction, spiritual direction. Myoho means a combination of spiritual and physical. It's both physical, spiritual, and how those are combining gracefully together into a single entity. That they cannot be perfectly separated, I think, is part of the magic of this. A writing or a word or music or an action, everything we see around us in the world is a spiritual entity in itself, which contains a spirit essence of its own. When you speak, you imbue your words with your spirit. Thus, they have a spiritual essence. Once they pass your lips, they are not you. According to Shannon, they are themselves a separate entity, a sound wave. They can in turn imbue others, even you, with their spiritual essence. This, she says, is not unlike your interaction with others. You're changed as a result of your interaction with others. For example, a person can change your mind about something, inspire you, or make you angry. These kinds of interactions may all at first be superficial, but if they occur over time, they can create a more lasting and significant change in you. You too have this same influence over the lives of others. Exchanges between us are both physical and spiritual. So in a deeper sense, it's the exchange. It's not just the physical spiritual, but it's the exchange of the physical spiritual that's making a difference here in the concept. The physical aspect is represented by such things as sound waves, facial expressions, ink, paint, brain waves, brain functioning. The spiritual aspect is the unseen aspect of these things. Myo also means life, and ho, death. So it's the life, death, spiritual, physical. Again, these complementary type concepts and how they blend. In the words of Nichiren, when then does Myo signify? It is simply the mysterious nature of our life from moment to moment, which the mind cannot comprehend or words express. When we look into our own mind at any moment, we perceive neither color nor form to verify that it exists. Yet we still cannot say that it does exist, for many differing thoughts continually occur. The mind cannot be considered either to exist or not to exist. It's the mystic entity of the middle way that is the ultimate reality. This mid between spiritual, that we have 1 foot in the spiritual and 1 foot in the in the material life versus spiritual. Renge literally means lotus flower, which symbolizes the wonder of this law. Because the lotus produces seeds and blooms at the same time, Renge represents the simultaneity of cause and effect. The instant you make a cause, the effect is immediately present deep into your life. It's significant that Myoho and Rengi are combined in the same phrase. Myoho, referring to the spiritual physical connection, reminds us that the deepest kind of cause we can make is the level of the spirit. Physical reality arises from the spirit. A change in our spiritual selves results in a change in what we do in our words and actions, which causes a change in our environment. Taking a specific action is relatively shallow in comparison to changing who we are at base. While taking an action might be more immediately evident, changing ourselves has a broader result. Therefore, the deepest, most lasting kind of cause we can make is to change ourselves. The change in ourselves might not be evident immediately when it happens, especially to those around us. And the implication here is that the chanting brings apart this profound change. It brings about the profound change. The most powerful way to change ourselves is by chanting Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Therefore, chanting Namo Myoho Renge Kyo is the most powerful positive change we can make according to Buddhism. And the final one is Kyo. The final word that you say, the final syllable, as a matter of fact, that you say. Kyo means teaching or sutra. It can mean sound, vibration, rhythm, since sutra is a sound emanating from a Buddha. It is not the teacher, but the teachings that are the key. We do not worship the person, the Buddha. We revere the correct teachings, which are those that lead people to enlightenment. The teaching we refer to is the heart or intent of the Lotus Sutra, the eternal enlightenment inherent within all life, which is the path to enlightenment for all people, according to Buddhism and to Shannon. Kyo is the instruction shared between one Buddha and the other. It is the path of development of your own Buddhahood and the Buddhahood of all others. The teachings of Kyo are the source, that means the entrance, the door for all people to open for the enlightenment. So think of it as the door of enlightenment is the Kyo. It's teaching which does not separate the spiritual world from the phenomenal world in which we live. It states that the very sounds of our voices are inextricably linked to the spirituality within us. Our lives are full and complete here, right now. Our lives are not separated by time or space from our spiritual selves. Kyo refers back to the interpenetration of the spirit and physical. The teaching of the Buddha is itself a Buddha. Namu Myo Renge Kyo are the words of the Buddha. The phrase instructs us to the nature of the Buddhahood and lead us to our own Buddhahood. Therefore, every time we recite Namu Myoho Renge Kyo, you create a Buddha sound wave. That's how it's characterized. From the words of Nichiren, if one understands that one's life is Myo, then one also understands the others' lives are all entities of the mystic law. This realization is the mystic Kyo, or the sutra. So this is just a quick summary of Nichiren Buddhism and Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. I feel better already.